For starting late. We took much time with the other nominee because now we have to be satisfied. Yeah, I've also asked the acting clerk to inform the CS nominee that she may also have to be a little bit patient because we have to be satisfied with you, with your response. So thank you, Akili, for your patience and for availing yourself to this committee. I want to request my colleagues that we introduce ourselves before we proceed. My name is Kevin Kinengo Katisia. I am the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kitui and the Chair of the Committee on Appointments, and by profession I am an advocate. And I want to say that despite the fact that I know you are my senior in the profession, but with regards to this vetting exercise, I have no conflict of interest, and I'll be able to effectively vet you without any conflict. So I want to request my colleagues, starting with the Vice Chair, to also introduce themselves and also declare whether they have any conflict of interest. Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. I'm Judith Wanza, elected by the great people of No Ward, and I'm the Vice Chair of this committee, Appointments Committee. And at the same time, I do serve in the Budget Committee in this Assembly, and I'm the only elected lady in Kitui County in 40 wards. And I would say that I have no conflict of interest in this. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Vice Chair. Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity. My name is Honorable Harrison Maluki, MCA Migwani, and the leader of the majority party in Kitui County Assembly. Honorable Speaker, I'm a member of this committee, and I declare that I have no conflict of interest regarding vetting the nominee before the committee on appointment now. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Majority Leader. Minority Leader.
Thank you very much, Chair. To our nominee, my name is Jeremiah Muse Mutoa, representing the good people of Guni Ward. I'm a member to this committee by the virtue of being the minority leader in the County Assembly of Kitui. And I want to confirm to you, Chair, that I don't have any conflict of interest on the nominee. And I wish him all the best during the vetting.
Thank you very much, Minority Leader. Minority Whip and a member of the committee, please.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Honorable Gabriel Munyao. I represent the people of Kawi Ward, and I am a member of this committee. Honorable Chair, I declare I have no conflict of interest.
Thank you very much, Honorable Gabriel, Minority Whip. Honorable Priscilla, do you have any conflict of interest?
Thank you, Chair. I start by introducing myself.
Yes, please.
My name is Priscilla Martha Makumi. I am a nominated member of Wiper Party. I represent the good women of Kitui County, and I also serve as the chairperson of education, and I declare I have no interest, despite that it comes from Kitui West.
No conflict?
No conflict of interest.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. It is not a crime for the nominee to come from the same area with you or the same constituency, so long as you have no conflict of interest.
I declare again, I have no conflict of interest.
Okay. Thank you,
sir.
For the firm declaration. Let me request the acting clerk to introduce the secretariat, please. Acting clerk.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Chris Mulundi Mwangangi, the acting clerk of assembly, and the clerk serving this appointments committee. With us, we have also part of the assembly service assisting as committee secretariat. On my far left, on my far right, by show of hand, we have David Manzi, the principal legal counsel. On my far left, at the end of the table, we have Mulandi Kavali, committee secretariat. We have Evans Kivintio, ICT officer. We have Alfred Mwalali, commissioner. We have John Kivoi, acting senior communications officer. We have Madam Noreen Kadeu Musyoka, senior answered officer 1. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Allow me to indicate to our nominee that we also have members of the public who are in our gallery, and maybe I can mention them for the purposes of answered, because, you know, pursuant to Article 185, we are supposed to do our hearings, whether committee hearings or plenary hearings, publicly. And the members of the public are always invited. In fact, we are also live streaming this session. We are receiving comments from the public through our social media platforms. And we have invited members to come here physically. And we have some who have come. I will recognize them for taking their time to join us. Maybe when I call out their name, they can stand up and wave. We have Mr. David Musili. Thank you, David, my very good friend, also from an officer in the county executive. Thank you, David. We have Peter Mbiti. Peter Mbiti, thank you, Peter, for joining us. We have Joyce Mutemwa. Thank you, Joyce, and my neighbor here in Kitui. Thank you, Joyce, for joining us. And any other member of the public is at liberty to follow the hearing. And allow me to also indicate to you that the hearing is unanswered. Everything you say here will be recorded for future reference by the assembly, and I'm sure, being a council, you know the meaning of an answered, and being our current county solicitor, I'm sure you have interacted with these sessions of the county assembly, so these matters are very clear to you. I will request you to hand over your original documents to our principal legal counsel so that you can cross-check them alongside the copies which we have. As you do so, I want to bring you to speed on the reason why we called you. Mr. Timothy, you are before the Committee on Appointments, which is established under Standing Order number 184 of the Kitui County Assembly Standing Orders, pursuant to Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. Article 185 of our Constitution provides that a county assembly, while respecting the principle of separation of powers, may exercise oversight over the county executive committee and other county executive organs. What we are doing here, we are oversighting the county executive. The organ we are oversighting is the selection panel, which interviewed you, and your names were brought to us. That's an organ of the county government of Kitui. And we have a constitutional duty to oversight. So this vetting is part of our oversight mandate as an assembly. We have also called you pursuant to Section 4 of the Public Appointments into bracket County Assembly's Approval Act, hereinafter referred to as the Act, which provides that an appointment under the Constitution or any other law for which the approval of the County Assembly is required shall not be made unless the appointment is approved by the relevant County Assembly in accordance with this Act. I want to confirm to you, Mr. Timothy, that His Excellency the Governor, Dr. Julius Makoma Lombe, submitted a communication, or rather a message to the Assembly on 5th of August 2025, nominating yourself for the position of county attorney. That was on 5th of August. The following day, on 6th of August, the Speaker of the County Assembly of Kitui communicated the governor's message to the Assembly, and further committed the same to the Committee on Appointments for vetting and making of relevant recommendations to the Assembly. So our work is to vet you, prepare a report, submit to the whole house. It is only the whole house which can approve, which you can approve you for subsequent appointment. I'm sure you are conversant with the County Attorneys Act, which establishes your office, and yourself being a lawyer, I expect you to be fully aware of the provision of the County Attorneys Act. The law requires us in Section 7 of the Appointments Act to invite you for vetting and to give you sufficient notice, at least 7 days. And we did so through a newspaper advert dated 6th of January 2026 in Daily Nation and Star newspaper. At the same time, the law also requires us to invite members of the public for any memoranda. If there's anybody who wants to contest your nomination or approval, they're supposed to bring a sworn memoranda. They must swear if they want to contest your nomination. Allow me to inform you that we have not received any memoranda from any member of the public contesting your nomination and subsequent approval by this House. So you have passed step 1, and the other steps are following. So now you are here today so that we can ask you a few questions, confirm whether you are the most suitable person to fill in the position of the county attorney. After we do our vetting, we shall prepare reports, submit to the House, the whole House. The House will debate and either approve or reject the recommendation of the committee. And subsequently, we shall forward the House resolution to the governor. If the House will have approved you, the governor has the liberty to appoint you. The governor may also choose not to appoint. So the entire process stops at the level of the governor. Our work, we are not appointing, we are only vetting to confirm your suitability and either approve or reject your nomination. But we wish you well. Thank you very much. Now I will go straight to the questions which we had prepared, and I will give you 5 minutes. First of all, to introduce yourself to us. Tell us your name, your religion, your family background, academic background, professional background and experience, and tell us how your educational background, professional experience is related to the position which we are approving you, because we are supposed to approve you. So you have 5 minutes. Begin now.
Let me begin using my 5 minutes by appreciating the chair for that very elaborate background, elaborating why we are here and the various legal provisions on which we are standing. Chair, my name is Timothy Chalo Mwange, a Kenyan national and a Christian by faith. Timothy Chalo is an advocate by profession who was admitted to the bar in March 2015, and I am a member of the Law Society of Kenya, Chair. Chair, I'm also a qualified company secretary, and I do belong to the Institute of Certified Public Secretaries. Chair, I'm also a certified public accountant, and I belong to the Institute of Certified Public Accountants of Kenya. I'm also a trained arbitrator, Chair, by the Institute of Certified Arbitrators, Nairobi chapter. My work experience brings in organizations like Strathmore University, specifically the School of Accounting, where I taught commercial law and company law to students pursuing qualifications in CPA and SCCA. I've also worked as a lawyer with the law firm of CK LLP Advocates, formerly Ombogi Kipto and Company Advocates. Chair, as you may know currently, I serve as the County Solicitor, County Government of Kitui, in the Office of the County Attorney. Chair, currently I lead that office in ensuring that the county government is represented in court. I also provide advice to the county executive. I'm also responsible for vetting, interpreting, and drafting legal documents for the county executive. Chair, across these years that I have worked, which brings me to about 12 years of work experience, but 11 of them with the qualifications of a lawyer, I would say I have acquired specific competencies that place me as qualified for this appointment. Specifically, I would say I am very competent in dispute resolution. I am an astute legal researcher. I have excellent communication skills and leadership. Chair, when we are not working, I'm a husband and father of 2 wonderful boys. I also serve the community in the Board of Management of Kaui Comprehensive School as the chair. I also read books and also watch TV documentaries, and when I have the time, I follow my favorite football team, the Arsenal. Thank you.
Members of Arsenal, you need to declare interest. As a members, on a light note, thank you, Wakili, for that introduction. I think we shall know you even better professionally as we continue engaging. But what do you mean by you lead the office of the county attorney? Are you the acting county attorney? Are you performing the duties of a county attorney? What do you mean by you lead the office?
Thank you, Chair.
Make it clear.
Thank you, Chair. Currently, there is we don't have a substantive appointment to that specific office, the office of a county attorney, as a county attorney. So appointed as the county solicitor, I am the principal assistant to the county attorney. And as you may know, there is no vacuum in law. As the principal assistant, then I lead in the execution.
Who are you assisting? Wakili, you know I'm also a lawyer like you.
Yes.
You must assist somebody who is existing,
yes,
or an office which is existing.
Yes.
So my question is very straightforward. Are you the acting county attorney, or have you been appointed to perform the duties of a county attorney? Kindly make it clear for us.
Yes.
We know you are a county solicitor.
Thank you. So
yes,
let me make it clear.
Yes.
My appointment is as county solicitor. Thank
yes. You. No, it is not clear. Wakili, it is not clear. You have said that you lead the office of the county attorney. That office can only be led by a substantive county attorney or somebody who has been appointed to act or perform the duties of a county attorney. So what do you do exactly?
Thank you, Chair. Allow me to take back this word lead and replace it by saying that currently I am the most senior member of staff in the office of the county attorney as the county solicitor.
So who do you report to? You are supposed to report to the county attorney, and we have no county attorney. And we have nobody who is acting or performing duties of a county attorney.
Yes.
So who do you report to?
Functionally, I report to His Excellency the Governor.
So are you the acting county attorney?
No, I'm not the acting county attorney.
Why the vacuum? Because you are not the county attorney.
Yes.
You are not acting as a county attorney. You are not performing duties of a county attorney. Why did you advise the governor? Because you are the legal advisor, basically.
Yes.
To appoint somebody to either act or perform.
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
I think the governor had noticed that there was no county attorney.
Yes.
But in his wisdom, and at the right time, I think we are now in the process of getting that solved.
Did you advise the governor that there is need to either appoint a substantive county attorney or appoint somebody to act or perform the duties of a county attorney? You are telling us we have been existing without a county attorney. Actually, we used to think that you were the acting county attorney. So we were really exposed, because a county solicitor does not have the mandate of a county attorney unless you are acting or performing the duties of a county attorney. So did you advise the governor on the need to either appoint substantively or appoint in acting capacity or to perform the duties?
Thank you, Chair. I don't know whether in my place I have the permission to ask questions.
Yes, you can ask a question.
Thank you. You see, in my place, I may not be the person to tell you that I advised the governor, because maybe the advice that I may have given to the governor may have been confidential, but I can confirm, Chair, that there has been advice from elsewhere, particularly if you've interacted with the Auditor General's report from last financial year. One of the things that the auditors had picked was that there was no substantive county attorney, and that there was need to appoint a substantive county attorney, and this may have been the process that leads us here. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Wakili. I'm still not convinced that you are not performing the duties of a county attorney, because in your own words, you have said you lead that office of the county attorney, and for you to lead that office lawfully, you must be either appointed to act or to perform the duties. But we shall follow up on that matter as we proceed, because we are here to make sure that things are clear. Things are clear. I will ask you a few questions which will require a yes or no response before I invite my other colleagues to also ask other questions. Do you have a valid KRA clearance certificate? Thank you. Do you have dual citizenship?
No, I don't.
Thank you. What is your financial net worth? Thank you. What is your financial net worth? And give us a breakdown of the same as per the questionnaire
Thank you, Chair.
filled and submitted to us.
Thank you, Chair. My net worth is estimated, I estimate it at about 36 million Kenya shillings. The 36 million Kenya shilling comprises of a 29 million estimate value in land and buildings, a 7.4 estimate value in shares in the Nairobi Stock Exchange, shares in cooperative societies, cash and cash equivalents. I also have a personal car estimated at around 650,000. Then I also have assorted household goods estimated at about 800,000. Thank you, Chair. To add, that total of 36 is exclusive of my net liabilities, standing at about 0.7 million. Thank you.
Thank you, Wakili, for making it very clear. Because you know, as a public officer, you have to always declare. So we have a duty to confirm your net worth. Thank you for that brief response. Let me ask you a final question. What is your current or anticipated sources of income? And don't refer to this one for content only. On a light note. Switch on your microphone. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. My anticipated sources of income include my salary as county solicitor. I'm currently employed as such by the county government of Kitui. I also anticipated incomes in the form of dividends in respect of the shares that I hold in cooperative societies and companies listed in the Nairobi Stock Exchange. I also expect some interest from money market funds that I hold. Thank you.
Thank you, Council. before I finish with you, I believe as a council, you know that if there are some inconsistencies with your name in official documents, and if the inconsistency is not contrary to your national identity, if the inconsistency is contrary to your national identity, you have to do maybe a deed poll. But if the inconsistency is only with regards to some few documents, I'm sure you know that there must be an affidavit. So kindly, without going back and forth, do you have an affidavit, or do you require us to give you a chance to supply the committee with an affidavit to cure that inconsistency with your name?
So, sorry, Chair. In respect to the name that was forwarded,
Yes.
and my certificate,
Yes,
and my ID,
Yes.
yes, if allowed, I can do that, Chair.
Can we? Is 1 day okay? We can give you 1 day.
Sure,
to
sure.
Supply us with an affidavit.
Sure.
Wonderful. So we give you exactly 1 day.
Sure.
By tomorrow 5 p.m. through the office of the clerk, please supply us with an affidavit.
Thank you for indulging me, Chair.
Thank you very much. The clerk is getting me that there's a previous, there's an affidavit which you had done, but you will liaise with him to ensure that it is the correct one. Yeah. We're just giving you a chance so that our documentation are okay. We must make sure that our documents are okay. Before I allow my colleagues to ask you other questions, allow me to recognize in our gallery some other additional members of the public. We have Paul Mutua. Paul Mutua is my very good friend. I think he represents the People's Daily. So thank you, Mr. Paul. We have Barak Moli. Barak Moli, thank you, Barak. I see you. One of our colleagues from the county executive in the Department of Communication. We have Yohana Kimwele. Yohana Kimwele, almost everybody in Kitui knows you. I think this is a very good representation of the public. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. And we are also live in our social media pages as we interact with our people, because we are doing this vetting on behalf of the great people of Kitui County. Honorable members of the committee, now let me open the floor for you members to ask any question, any clarification before we finalize with this vetting process. Let me begin with the vice chair of the committee. I can see the minority leader is very eager, but due to the need to respect the committee hierarchy, let me start with the vice chair, unless the vice chair allows you to go first. Vice chair?
Let me start.
Okay.
I won't take long.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Timothy, for making it to that far, and all the best. On behalf of the committee, I would like to know, how do you stay informed about the changes in laws and regulations that may affect the county? Yeah.
Thank you, through the chair. Good question. As an advocate, we belong to a society, the Law Society of Kenya, and we are grateful that even from the inception, when new legislations are proposed, they are usually writing to us emails requesting us to give our views on these proposed legislations. We are also fortunate, Chair, that through the Council of Governors, we also get communications regarding any proposed legislations. So that I would say, from proposal of this legislation all the way to enactment, we are usually appraised. We also do have training, continuous professional training, through popularly known as CPDs. And what the council has done is that one of the preferred areas of members to interact with are areas where new legislation is coming up, where they would get an expert to share with members their views and insights regarding this proposed legislation. Thank you, Chair.
And the last one, can you tell us about the most challenging legal situation you have managed and how you handled it?
Thank you, Chair. Let me maybe pick one from my current role as county solicitor when I work now in the county government. I'm sure maybe that is what may also interest you. You may remember sometimes in 2022, 4 chief officers went to court and challenged the county government of Kitui that they had been employed on permanent and pensionable basis. Now, what may have been very interesting for me, one of those chief officers was also the acting county secretary. And in my role as the county solicitor, or the office of the county attorney, but let me just stick to solicitor, we consulted a lot on the happenings and things that were happening in the county. So you can imagine this one morning, the person I consult, I find a letter on my desk saying that they have sued the county government. And for a minute, I thought it was a joke until he called me and said, I know there is a letter you may have seen on your desk. It is true that I have gone to court, and just read and understand for yourself. Now, what was unique in this case is that the officers' contracts had not indicated a specific term for which they would be serving. And my thinking was they took advantage of the failure to have a term indicated to say that we are employed for life. We are employed permanently till retirement age. But in our argument of this case, we were also able to point out a few things to the court to show why, in our view, we think this was not a permanent employment. As you may know, when you are employed on permanent basis, there are other characteristics of your employment that must suggest you are a permanent and pensionable employee. Specifically, your pension contributions, the way you contribute pension as a contracted public servant is very different from how you contribute your pension as a PNP. So, Chair, I would say that is one that I would wish to share with this committee. Thank you.
Among others. Thank you. Yes, Vice Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Minority, you can continue.
Vice Chair, the hierarchy is that after you, the Vice Chair is the majority leader. So let's go. Minority leader, you may have to wait. You know you are very eager, but let's go to the majority leader.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think the Vice Chair is running too fast. Mwange, congratulations for making it this far. You remember this committee vetted a selection panel, and when we were vetting them, there were vacancies for three very senior positions in our county government, and they promised that they will give us the best in those three positions. I have only one question for you. Why do you think that the selection panel found you to be the best to occupy that position for the county attorney?
Chair, you will allow me to be subjective, because the question is, why do I think they chose me? I think, one, the very basics is that they found that I met the requirements, the minimum requirements for appointment as a county attorney. They must have also looked at they must have evaluated the competencies that were necessary for appointment as a county attorney. They must also have been persuaded by my vision and experience for the office. Now that I had worked in that office, I'm very careful, I'm not saying worked as attorney. Now that I was already working in that office and that I was familiar with the roles of the county attorney, maybe they are thinking this is an advocate we will propose for appointment, and probably they are ready to work on day one. Thank you, Chair.
Before majority finishes this question, are you saying, if assuming that you are not working in that office as a county solicitor, are you saying you don't think you would have been the best? Are you saying you are the best because you already work there? Is that what you are telling the committee?
Chair, not to say that there were other very impressive things that this committee saw in me. For instance, if I'm sure they had an opportunity, just as you had an opportunity to look at my CV, I have been exemplary in many ways. From my educational background, you may have noticed, I scored highly in my KCPE. I was the top student in my school, and I was invited to my national school of choice. While I was there, I was a very excellent student as well. I scored a straight A and was admitted to do my course of choice, that is the law, at the University of Nairobi, where I also excelled very well. I got a second upper, and in the performance of my work, I also demonstrated to the committee my competencies. What is it that I had achieved in the various roles that, that I have been in. I think maybe one of the things that must have interested the committee, the panel a lot, is that despite my young age, I had written 5 books as at August last year, and more are coming. I think in their opinion, not many lawyers have had interest in getting their work published. Chair, if you also go online, I do not want to say that I'm creating content, but I have produced very relevant material for students who are interested in accountancy and company secretarial practice. One time, I was very amused that if you go to YouTube and just search company law in Kenya, the first name that appears there is the name of yours truly, Timothy Chalo. It's very difficult not to be impressed by that kind of candidate. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your response, Majority Leader.
Thank you, Chair. I'm satisfied with the response. Timothy, I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Majority Leader. Minority Leader, now it is your time. As you represent the minority party in this county assembly, and also as you represent the great people of Gune Ward, please take the floor, Minority Leader.
Thank you very much, Chair. As we have just cited, I'm here by the virtue of being the minority leader, representing the great party by the name NAC Party. The speaker was the party leader is the former governor, Charity Kaloki Ngilu. The speaker, I proceed to a very interesting question to the nominee. That during the tenure of the former governor, who is also my party leader, Charity Kaloki Ngilu, at that time you were serving as a substantive county solicitor. And the governor appointed a county secretary without the approval of the county assembly. And the county assembly subsequently later went to court, and that appointment was quashed. Remember, some public funds were used during the litigation. And because I got this chance as the minority leader, representing NAC Party of the former governor, who is also my party leader, why did you not advise the governor on that matter that led to expenditure of public funds, and again expose my boss badly in public space? In my own view, I think that you failed the government of the day. And if such kind of a thing happens again in future, I would like to hear what are remedies if at all you succeed in this vetting process.
Thank you very much. I think the question is very clear, so you may proceed. So there is that particular court matter I'm sure you are fully aware of. And apart from exposing the former governor, I'm sure critical decisions were made by the then county secretary. I'm sure he was being paid allowances and remuneration as a county secretary. So a lot of funds were lost and misused. And the county assembly had been bypassed by the county executive. On top of that question, how do you think your office will, assuming you become the county attorney, such issues are not repeated and referred to us on the relevant legal provisions on the role of the county attorney with regards to engaging with the county assembly?
Thank you, Chair. I want to agree with the Honorable Minority Leader that his question is very interesting because he has the wrong person. I did not work for the county government of Kitui when the former governor appointed some unlawfully or unprocedurally a person into the office of the county secretary. For the record, Chair, I joined the county government of Kitui as county solicitor on the 25th day of January 2022, a fact that can be confirmed from my appointment letter, such that as it is, I may not, and Chair, you can guide, I may not be the person who advised the former governor on the appointment of the then person in the office of the county secretary. But I can go to the solution part of the question, what my role would be in future should such kind of a thing happen. And Chair, you've been graceful that you have even led me to hold on to specific statutory provisions in defining what my role would be. Chair, as the county attorney, one of the functions of the county attorney is to provide legal counsel to the county government. That includes the county executive in their various roles, including the one for appointment or nominating a candidate for county secretary. As a lawyer, and being aware of the provisions of the law regarding the requirements for appointing a county secretary, that now the law requires that there be a selection panel approved by this assembly. The selection panel advertises for the vacancy of a county secretary, and that the selection panel nominates names to His Excellency the Governor to pick one for nomination and forward to this assembly under the provisions of the County Assembly's Public Appointments Approval Act. As a county attorney, if I be, I would be in the first line to advise His Excellency the Governor that there is a legally established procedure for appointing persons to the office of the county secretary. And as a believer in rule of law, I would be able to persuade that this process is followed. And in any case, and you may have noticed this in this very particular case, where an appointment has been made with violations of the provisions of the law, that appointment would be an invalid appointment, as indeed was confirmed by the court, where that matter was challenged in court that the appointment of the then county secretary was not as per the requirements of the law. The court went out to find that that appointment had been irregular insofar as the nominee had not been vetted by this very assembly. Thank you, Chair.
Madam Leader, I think you have been responded to, but since you joined that office after the illegality had been done, did you take any steps, maybe to ensure that the same does not happen again? Because when you join an office, you're also responsible for past mistakes. I know you were not there that time, but you later joined the office. Assuming that you are in the office, let's assume that you are the county solicitor then, and the governor insists that he will appoint, because you know the argument was, and I'm sure you remember, that I was in those circles then as an advocate. The argument was that the then CS was already a public officer, if you remember, on the issue of being seconded and so forth. And that's why they were even able to bypass the county assembly. Assuming you were in that office and the governor still wants to bypass the county assembly, what would you have told the governor? What advice would you have given the governor then?
Thank you, Chair. I would have impressed upon the governor the risk of bypassing the county assembly, and particularly make it very clear that the appointment or the purported appointment would be an invalid appointment. That should you not observe the law in the appointment of a person into the office of the county secretary, that person acting in that role, having not been appointed duly, would suffer the risk of even being required to compensate the public any benefits that they would have drawn in the position of county secretary, not having been appointed so lawfully. So I would say I would have impressed upon the appointing authority the risk that would befall the county government should the right process of appointing a county secretary not be followed. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Minority Leader, you may proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Second and last, Mr. Speaker, I want to do a follow-up question to what the Majority Leader asked the nominee about the selection panel. You remember you were explaining why you think that the selection panel forwarded your name, and you really explained well. But then my concern was this: the same selection panel, this committee wrote to the selection panel so that the committee can get some very important insights on the three nominees that were forwarded to the County Assembly of Kitui, and specifically to this committee. Shockingly, the committee received a response, or the County Assembly received a response from the chairperson to the panel that declining appearing before the committee. Yeah, so the clerk is also serving me with a letter. This letter is dated 8th October 2025, and the subject was invitation to appear before the County Assembly Committee on appointment. And I can read the chairman's the content within the letter. The reference is meant to a letter. Reference number CAK/15/7, volume that of 1st October 2025, inviting the selection panel for the appointment of the county secretary, county attorney, and secretary, county public service board to appear before the county assembly committee on appointments on 16th October 2025. The letter further requested the selection panel to submit a written advance response before 8th October 2025. So the chair says, on behalf of the selection panel, I appreciate the invitation extended towards us by the County Assembly Committee on Appointments. However, the selection panel may be unable to honor this invitation since the selection panel's terms of reference do not include engagements with the County Assembly. Moreover, all the documents and information sought in your letter are contained in the selection panel report submitted in public to the appointing authority. Now, my concern is what is your opinion relating to the tenor of the selection panel in accordance of the law? Number two, do you think in that response and in that scenario, there is a very big gap of advisory from the office you hold as a solicitor in the County Assembly of Kitui? Because the County Assembly has a mandate and has power, and even the committee has powers of that of High Court to demand some explanation and to be given insights concerning very important information of the nominee.
In other words, Wakili, this committee is required, I read for you the law, where we are required to vet. Article 185, sub-article 3, we oversight the County Executive Committee and other organs of the County Executive. Here we have a selection panel which was created as an organ of the county executive. The governor submitted names to the assembly, we approved. It became a county executive organ. And they are the ones who interviewed you. And we are asking them, there's some clarity we need with regards to Timothy Kyalo Mwange. And they are supposed to respond to us, and they refuse to respond to us. So in other words, there is unclarified issues with regards to your nomination. Unclarified issues. And here is the committee, the chair, because let me see the letter, because you are a lawyer and I'm a lawyer, I'm sure you can engage as professional colleagues. The chair, Dr. Nzomo Mwita, he signed, and you see the title still, he has not said former chair. He has said chairperson, selection panel for the recruitment of county secretary, county attorney, and secretary to Kitui County Public Service. He has not said former chair. He has still signed as a chair. Then in the content, he is saying that their term ended. So in other words, he is telling us, you engage with the governor. But us, we are not oversighting the governor here. We are oversighting, we don't oversight the governor. We oversight the county executive committee. I'm sure you know the roles of the county executive committee. Yeah. And also oversight the county executive organs. So we are supposed to oversight the senior panel, but the chair has disappeared. And another letter was actually even written when we still followed up on the same by somebody who said that she was the secretary to the panel. I don't know whether you have a copy of that letter, acting clerk. When we followed up on that matter, 2 questions, according to you, as per the law, when does the term of a county executive organ end? Do you think the term of the selection panel ended after they submitted the names to the governor, even before governor forwarding to the assembly, and the assembly approving and forwarding to the governor? Them, they think they did their work, and you are the county solicitor. Yeah, I'm sure they should have sought your legal advice on these matters. So for these matters not to recur in the future, because had we chosen to take another route of summoning them, no, we have the powers of High Court. People would have started saying, oh, the assembly is fighting the governor. When we oversight, people are using the governor as a shield. This committee, this assembly has no issue with the governor. The only issue we normally have is with the county executive committee or the county executive organs, because we have to oversight. So as the county solicitor, I don't know whether you are aware of these correspondence. You may not be aware because you're not copied. But do you think this should have happened really, in your own opinion? And maybe these are the gaps or the issues caused by lack of a substantive county attorney. So how do you respond? And maybe I may refer you to section 18 as amended by section 58A of the Government's Act, subsection what? Subsection, I think, 7, 11 and 12. Yeah, because if you read the content of it, the assembly may reject the names and then return to the governor, and the governor may now involve the panel again. It should not be assumed that we shall approve. Yeah. So, when you are doing the engagement with the panel, did you tell them after submitting the names your term ends? What was the engagement? You are the county solicitor. Yes.
Thank you, Chair. As you may note, because I was an interested party, I tendered my application. I had no interactions with this election panel besides me sending my application and appearing for the interview, so that you can imagine, being one of the people who are supposed to appear before them, I must have kept very much away from them. But you asked a good question. What is the tenure for this election panel? The law provides that the selection panel shall remain the selection panel until the appointments for which the selection panel was appointed are done. So in this very particular case, that selection panel is still the selection panel until the candidates that were sent to this house for appointment consideration are appointed.
Not for nomination. Not for nomination. Because even the name says selection panel for appointment of.
Yes,
and
yes.
appointment ends at the level of governor.
Yes, sure,
Yes,
sure.
yes.
So as you pointed out, there is a possibility, within possibilities, that the candidates who have appeared before this appointments committee are not, that do not convince you, or the house is not convinced, and therefore those names are rejected.
That is true.
And the procedure is that that selection panel would remain available to consider other candidates for these appointments. So that selection panel is still the selection panel. As to my opinion, why I think they did not appear before you, I think they may not have appreciated has come, you're also interested in the process before even the nominees came here. Let the selection panel come, share insights with us, how did they end up with these candidates, and I think maybe it's a matter that the selection panel didn't appreciate, and maybe the chairperson may have just been constrained to the terms of reference they had, that now that I do not appreciate how this committee of the assembly works, I may just want to refer to my terms of reference and decline this invitation. Thank you, Chair.
So you are saying the chair was out of order, the chair of the selection panel, to decline the invitation by the County Assembly Committee because, Wakili, ignorance is not a defense, right? The committee had an advocate as one of their members. In fact, the advocate is now a senior counsel, Dr. Koki Muli. He's now a senior counsel. Are you saying the committee was not competent? The selection panel. Are you saying the selection panel did not have competent members who cannot appreciate the law, who cannot appreciate the role of the county assembly? Yeah, because I am really shocked. And if it is not even appreciating the work of the role of the county assembly, did they even do competent recruitment and interviews? Because that is now where the question. Because what cost? Because you from my earlier remarks, you notice that the governor submitted these names long time ago, Mr. Timothy Kialo, 5th of August. 5th of August. And the next day, the speaker, myself, I committed to the committee. And we wrote, immediately we sat down, we wrote to the panel so that we can get some clarity. But they declined to respond to us. And all that back and forth has caused a long delay since August up to now. Because we know we are not rubber stamps. We have to really do due diligence. And I must squarely lay blame on the panel for the long delay in finalizing this process. So, because the process is not yet done, and at any point, we can summon the committee, the selection panel. What would be your comment on the same? Because if we have some issues with regards to your nomination, and they have refused to come and maybe failure by them to come and clarify may make us reject your nomination, don't you think they are being very unfair to you as a nominee? Because if we choose to reject your nomination because there is some information which the panel did not disclose to us, don't you think you as a nominee now remove the shoes of a county solicitor, now wear the shoes of a nominee to be a county attorney? Don't you think they will be very unfair to you? And in that case, don't you think, if we say that the panel was not competent, will we be right? Or it will be putting too much blame on them? Mr. Timothy.
Thank you, Chair. I don't think I may be the most appropriate person to pass judgment on the competence of the selection panel. You remember, Chair, I'm a product of that selection panel. I will be shooting myself if I said I think the committee was not competent.
But you're a Kenyan. You're not a product of the panel.
Yes, I want to.
Sorry, Majority, you have something to say.
Point of information,
Yes,
Honorable
yes.
Speaker.
Yes.
Also, the same selection panel is a product of this committee.
Yes. Yes. So this matter of products, I think let's stop it. Grandson, please proceed.
Thank you, Majority. You know, I did not know whether I had the privilege of telling the Chair that this committee is a product. I note, as a nominee, my powers are very limited.
Yes.
But I think...
No, but you can be a product of somebody, but you become incompetent. Becoming a product does not mean you are competent. So the question is, do you think the panel was competent? Yes.
Thank you, Chair. If I said they are competent or not competent, I think it's very subjective. But let me say, I believe they are very competent, having experienced the process. I can speak now as a subject of the process. I think the process was above board. It was a thorough process. I do not recall in my earlier life preparing for an interview that much. I think maybe the other time I've prepared that much was today or the days before today when I was appearing before this very honorable committee. But Chair, I believe this ABO committee is still endowed with mechanisms within it to ascertain whether the process carried out by the selection panel was a lawful process and a process above board. I appreciate the zeal of this committee. Like I'm telling you, as a nominee myself, I was interested in seeing how these processes are being done. And it is rare to see a committee of this nature not just satisfied with seeing the nominees, but also interested in the process before the nominees. So I think that is unique for this committee. Thank you.
Yeah, and I want to confirm to you, Wakili, that the reason why we took time to invite you for vetting is because we had to use other means now to confirm that you are nominated legally. Because the panel refused to respond to us, we took time to really do our own research to confirm that you should appear before us. Yeah, but by the virtue of the fact that we invited you, it means you are competent to appear before us. But we're only asking why the committee, the panel should have known that their term is still on. They had an advocate, and then now it's like they are rubbishing the county assembly. Yeah, but that's not a matter which maybe you may have been privileged. But assuming you become the county attorney, these are the things which should not recur, because we need to ensure that our legal department properly advises the county executive. Vice Chair, you seem to have a follow-up question?
Yeah, I was just asking the same. He has a partial answer. It is like because the they approved him, does it mean that what they did was not wrong? As a lawyer, how do you answer that?
Thank you, Chair.
Yes.
The question on whether it was wrong or right for them to decline the invitation, I think I answered it in terms of, you see, this invitation was to the selection panel. And in my position, I can only imagine for them, why is the selection panel not accepting an invitation by the county assembly to explain themselves? And my thinking through the chair is that they may not have appreciated the thoroughness with which this committee does its work. But maybe given another opportunity, we may have other appointments in the future. There may be other selection panels in the future. I think this is one of those things that we may want to impress upon them, that in the interest of having a nomination and a vetting process that is above board, you may be required, should the committee deem fit, to appear before them and just shed light on how you carried out your work and how you ended up with these names proposed for nomination. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Council. Thank you, you have responded very well. Minority Leader, I think you are satisfied. Thank you, Minority Whip, and the member for, pardon, Minority Leader?
I can go on record and confirm, just from the nominees' comments, that the selection panel is still active and available for us to consult when we need very important insights of the nominees. This process will end when the governor will do the appointment. Before that time, the committee is very active in her deliberations. And Mr. Chair, I also want to go on record, as we have said, that the establishment of the selection panel by law requires to have an advocate of good standing. And that selection panel had an advocate of good standing. And to rubbish, if I can use that word, to ignore the request from the committee raises more questions than answers.
What are they hiding? If they don't know that their term ends after the appointment is done, do they even know what they were doing? No, those are, you could be very competent, Wakili, but you see the conduct of the panel is really causing a lot of suspicion. And you remember the County Assembly of Kitui is not just a mere conveyor belt. We thoroughly do our oversight before we make an approval, and I'm sure you are appreciating that. If the panel refused to appreciate that, it is unfortunate. We really took time here with them to vet them and approve them. Then the same approval organ is writing to them. The mere fact that they came to us, it means they are also answerable to us as they do their work. Even like you, assuming, let's hope that you are approved, you are appointed, it means you are still answerable to us as you do your work until when you exit. So I think that to that extent the panel, but since they are not here, we are grilling the wrong person, we still have some unanswered questions. Minority Whip, please.
Thank you, Chairman. I have only one question. Timothy, you understand that currently we have conflicts between the public and the county government land. Many people have taken over land that belong to the county government. And at times it becomes hard for us to do county government infrastructure. If given this opportunity to be the county attorney, do we expect things to change? And if so, how soon do you intend to give back the land to the county government and take it from the hands of the private citizens? So how soon do you want to do, how soon can you do it, if approved?
Thank you, Councillor.
Thank you, Chair. As the county solicitor, I have the benefit of knowing that currently we are in the process of procuring a land information management system as a county government. Allow me, Chair, to say that this is going to be a very good starting point, that the system first is going to enable us to have an inventory of all that land that is county public land for the county government of Kitui. Now, where any of this land has been encroached or is in the hands of, may I call them grabbers, in quotes, that on the instructions of the county government of Kitui, we can commence legal proceedings against these illegal acquirers of land to ensure that this land goes back in its right hands, the hands of the county government of Kitui, as the trustee of the residents of this county. Thank you.
Is a part of how soon
Yes.
you do it. I want to know whether within this term to be possible, or within your 100 days to be possible, or how soon you commence the process.
The committee or council wants a commitment from you, as hoping that we shall approve you, and the governor appoints you. We want to get a commitment from you on how to handle this land issue, which you know, I'm sure you know, Wakili. Even when you go to here in Kawi Ward in Kabati, there's a land we were trying to see if it can be used to build a ward office. We were told there are so many land issues, there are so many issues. And can I be honest with you? The issues are involving some county government officers. So how soon will you sort this issue, the land issue, on public land in Kitui County, assuming that you are approved by this house and the governor appoints you?
Thank you, Chair. I can make a commitment that should this committee endorse my nomination and the House approve it, I can begin the processes immediately.
Wakili, no, you have just answered like an advocate. Beginning the process immediately is not an answer. It's not a solution to the problem. Yeah. How much time do you think the office of the county attorney, in liaison with the Ministry of Lands, how long do you think they should take to sort out this matter? How long? How long do you think they should take to sort out this issue? Because it is affecting so many people. Yes.
So thank you, Chair. On the part of how soon can I, allow me to still say that I can take steps immediately, but this committee also appreciates that land is not squarely an issue under the docket of the county attorney, but I would need to liaise with the office, particularly with the ministry responsible for lands,
Yes.
which is the docket particularly and primarily entrusted with matters public land management within the county government of Kitui. As I have indicated, we have worked with this ministry earlier when we considered the procurement of the land information system. So that's why I can confidently make a commitment to this committee that this work towards claiming back public land is ongoing and it is something that I can pursue. Say, in my estimation, we should have done a lot in the next 12 months on this issue.
Thank you. Mheshimiwa.
Thank you, Timothy. The reason why this came up, and you know that land is not part of your duty, is because there are court cases that are preventing us from using that public land. That is why it is coming in this forum. With that question, I want to wish you the best. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The member of the committee representing women of Kitui County, Honorable Priscilla Mother Makome. You have questions? What are the women of Kitui County saying with regards to the nominee before us?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As a member of Kitui County who is representing women, we just want to clarify from our nominee, Mr. Timothy. We want to know how many years of legal experience you have, particularly in governmental or law or in county law.
Thank you, Chair. I was admitted as an advocate in the year 2015. So this would be my 11th year as an advocate, qualified and licensed to practice law in Kenya. Of these 11 years, I have served 4 of them, serving as the county solicitor in the county government of Kitui, in which capacity I have interacted a lot with law and matters relating to county governments and generally matters devolution. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. That is my first question. And another one is, what is your perception of the role of the mandate of the county assembly within the county governance structure?
Thank you, Chair. The county assembly, the county assembly is an important governance institution within a county government. And specifically allow me to point out the mandate of the county assembly as an oversight authority. Oversight is one of those things that is very central to governance, that institutions like a county government subjects itself to the eyes or the views of another entity on how it is carrying out its own affairs. If you look at this very specific incidents of a county assembly and maybe in terms of how the county executive does its work, you notice the county assembly as an oversight institution, you have played a very key role in inviting county officers from the county executive to shed light on how they have been carrying out their work. You would specifically point out to interactions we have during budgeting. You invite ministries to shed light on their priorities. Now that you represent the people of this county, it is important to ensure that what we have prioritized is also what the people of Kitui consider as their own priorities, so that as a county executive, we do not pursue priorities that are not necessarily the priorities of the people of this county. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Allow me to say congratulations for the far you have come, and I wish you all the best. Yeah.
Thank you, committee members, for your intelligence and your questions. Allow me to recognize the 2 other members of the public who have joined us in our gallery. I'll request them to wave. We have Emmanuel Muinde. Emmanuel, thank you very much, my good brother, for joining us. We have Moses Mutunga. Moses Mutunga, thank you very much for coming to witness what we do. No, we are your servants. We are here doing the work which you gave us to confirm that the nominees before us are competent to serve the people of Kitui County. Council, I will ask you a final question. You work in the office of the county attorney. Are you aware that the office of the county attorney should prepare and submit annual reports? If yes, to who and by when should the office of the county attorney prepare and submit those annual reports? And in furtherance to which provision of the law? Yes.
Thank you, Chair, for a good question. Under Section 28 of the Office of the County Attorney Act, under Section 28 of the Office of the County Attorney Act, the county attorney is under obligation to prepare a report on the operations of the Office of County Attorney, including financials. That report is supposed to be shared with the governor, and 14 days after the date when that report is shared with the governor, the law provides that the county attorney shall share that report with the clerk of the assembly. Thank you, Chair.
Has that been done before?
Chair, thank you. You remember where we began?
Yes or no, Council? It's a yes or no response.
No.
Why? Because we have never
Yes.
received any annual report. You have said you work in the Office of the County Attorney. We have never received any annual report because you are supposed, as per Section 28, you are supposed to submit annual reports to the governor by the 13th of June in each year, and then, of course, as you have said, 14 days later submit to the assembly through the clerk. Why has that not been done? Because, you know, the assembly is the representative of the people.
Sure.
The Office of the County Attorney should be accountable to the people of Kitui County.
Sure.
If you submit the reports to the assembly, you are being accountable to the people. But what do you hide? What does the office hide? Because you are not disclosing. You are not furthering Article 10. Transparency, accountability. And I know you may hide and say, I'm not the county attorney, but you work in that office. But let's hope that you are approved and subsequently appointed. Will you comply with this provision of the law?
Yes, Chair, I will comply.
County attorney. So, no, we have to represent our people here.
Sure.
And when we are tough, we are only following the law.
Sure.
Because we don't know exactly what happens in matters litigation in the Office of the County Attorney. And the assembly needs to know so that we are able to represent our people.
Sure.
We have some 2 questions from the public. Some members of the public who have posed some 2 questions here, and I will ask both of them so that you can respond. And if there are any questions from anybody, please write in our page. Those who are here physically, the sergeant at arms can come up there and you can give them, you can ask them in an anonymity manner. You don't need to disclose your name. It can be anonymous so that we can ask the county solicitor. Number 1, what role will you play to ensure that bills are fast-tracked? I don't know whether, I think it's the bills from the county government, from the county executive, the legislative bills, so that they are fast-tracked. This is Derek from Mulango Ward. We have another question by Evans Mwendwa. Ask him, now you, to comment on the court decision on private lawyers getting county legal jobs while we have county employed lawyers. What is your position? Because I think there's a forum for county attorneys in Kenya, and in that forum they released actually a statement disagreeing with the judgment of Justice Muhochi. And I'm sure you could be a member of that forum. So what is your opinion on that matter of engaging private lawyers? And the other issue is about fast-tracking bills.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. And thank you to those very good citizens who are following this and are concerned. And it tells out of that concern that they have actually these questions they are sharing so that we may clarify. One, on what I will do to fast-track bills. The bills, and I'm imagining these are bills that have been forwarded to the County Assembly for enactment.
Yes.
One of the things, Chair, that I can commit to do is to follow up with the specific county departments for which bills have been presented to this House, to liaise with their specific committees, particularly the chairs, so that they can engage towards having these bills progressing before the House. I may have noticed this, and maybe I could be wrong. You are the county assembly, you can tell me. Sometimes we may be under the impression that once these bills are forwarded here, we don't need to engage. It is my view that we need to engage so that we are appraised of where we are, and if there is anything that is required of us as the county executive, we do come in so that we see that these bills actually go through the process. There is the second issue, Chair, on the Okia Omutata matter in Nakuru, and particularly on the engagement of private lawyers by county governments and now all public entities. Chair, I would say that this is not a new matter per se. This matter was before the Senate sometimes last year, where the Senate was considering or was invited to consider a total ban on the engagement of lawyers by county governments. And the view was that county governments were wasting public money. And the question was, why would a county government need to hire lawyers when they have hired county attorneys and other legal counsel? Chair, the language that has been used is that these county attorneys and these lawyers are idle. What are they doing to leave us or expose us to private lawyers? The verdict out of the Senate engagement was that let county governments and other public institutions, as persons under the law, be at liberty to engage counsel of their choice. But Chair, I note that solution does not answer maybe our viewer who is, and other viewers who are concerned about maybe public spending, which the public opinion is on the side that governments, county governments and national government are spending maybe too much money on lawyers. Chair, I would say this is not a matter that has gone beyond the oversight authorities of the relevant houses, both national and county. If you look at it maybe from a Kitui perspective, the money that we may use as legal fees passes through this house, which has to consider it vis-a-vis need and approve specific amounts to be spent. So I would urge, I would say we will cut our coat according to our cloth. That while we encourage county governments and other public institutions to be represented by attorneys within the office, they also have the liberty to engage other counsels out of office should circumstances justify. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Wakili. But what is your position between engaging? Of course, it's not a crime. I know I'm an advocate, and I know if you go to the law, it is not a crime. It is not illegal to engage private law firms, but the point here is to enhance the internal, the in-house counsels in every public entity. Assuming you become the county attorney, which steps would you take to minimize engagement of private law firms and maximize on engaging the in-house counsel? Because we need to also safeguard, the little public resources which we have. We need to use them well. Which steps would you take?
I would speak to three things at this moment. One of the things that maybe I have had the benefit of seeing to it because I serve as county solicitor is ensuring that those matters don't arise in the first place. You see, if you have no cases, then the question of legal cost does not arise. We will work with county departments to ensure that they are compliant, and particularly on matters, contracts, that they are abiding or keeping to their contractual terms. Chair, we are also encouraged now by our constitution to pursue alternative dispute resolution. I can confirm that even as a county government, these are avenues that we have considered, that where we can engage persons outside court, we have pursued those options. Third, Chair, you may have noticed we have advertised for the position of 2 legal officers within our department. Chair, these are part of the steps that will bolster our capacity in the department, and with an increased number of lawyers in the office, I can commit to this committee that most of our matters can be handled within the office. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. If you are approved and appointed, I'm sure you know we have a committee on JLAC, which oversees the Office of the County Attorney. Serious oversight will be done. For this assembly, as to ensure that we seriously oversight the county executive. We have another member of the public who has joined us. We have Nicholas Wambua. Nicholas Wambua, please wave where you are. Thank you very much, Nicholas. We have members of the public following us in our social media platforms. I think we had mentioned Derek Keziman. We have Felix Kemansi. Yeah, we are saying so far I feel that Mwangi is qualified for the position. You guys just approve him. That's a comment by Felix Kemansi. But we have to finish our work. Oh, Felix Kemansi is from Mungune. We have to finish our work. But those are some of the comments from the public. And as I've said earlier, we are doing this vetting on behalf of our people. If our people say that we need to approve your nomination, who are we? We're only doing the will of the people. And we are doing this without any manner, any ill motive. We are only trying to ascertain whether you are suitable for this position. Honorable members, any other question? I think we have seriously engaged the council here. And so far as I am concerned, most of the questions which we had, you have responded to them. Perhaps I can give you now 3 minutes to make your final concluding remarks. Or if you have any questions for us, we are ready to answer. So please proceed, Council.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair, for the opportunity to make my closing remarks. Over the last 4 years, Chair, I've had the opportunity to diligently offer legal counsel to the county executive. I've had an opportunity to faithfully ensure that the county executive is represented in court. I have keenly vetted, interpreted, and drafted legal documents on behalf of the county executive. And I have tirelessly supported all county departments on their legal matters. If it is the will of this committee to endorse me and the House approves me, I intend to still do this, only that this time round with renewed vigor. I would liken this committee to the ownership or the management of a football club that is considering to hire a manager. That you have before you a very experienced manager with the Champions League credentials. When this committee retires, may they be persuaded to endorse this manager. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Since the manager has Champions League credentials, will he accept to be appointed by a club which has never reached top 4? What is the passion? If this manager goes to a small club, will he convert that small club to join Champions League? Is that what you are saying? And I hope you're not calling us a small club. Go on record, Council. I'm still engaging you.
Yes, this manager,
Yes.
Chair, is very committed and very much interested.
Yes.
And this club that this manager is negotiating with is definitely not a small club.
Yes.
It's a big club.
Yes.
They are in the Champions League.
Wonderful,
Thank
wonderful. You know, we must clarify, because if you say you're not in the Champions League, then it means we are not even worthy to hire that manager, because we can't even afford. You know, those small clubs cannot afford those big and competent managers. I think at that point on our hand as a committee is to appreciate you for joining us, also appreciate members of the public who have joined us for this vetting exercise, where we may have maybe in any manner maybe harassed you or asked you tough questions or maybe exceeded our limit, we apologize. We are only doing it in good faith so that we can seek clarity on many of the issues surrounding your nomination. And as is to say that we will look into your application on merit. We will ensure that the recommendation, because the work of the committee is to recommend, we shall make our recommendations, which will go to the House, and we shall, if of course, if a committee makes a recommendation, they take up upon themselves to lobby for their motion on the floor. Yeah, and of course it is the House which has the final power to approve the motion. And if we approve and we take it to the governor also has a duty within 7 days to make the appointment or reject, decline making the appointment. So that is the procedure. You may not hear from us again. Maybe you wait until you hear from the governor with regards to the final process of this vetting. Otherwise, thank you very much. We wish you well and we wish you all the best as you aim to become the county attorney of Kitui County. Asante sana, you may exit. And I think the office of the clerk has arranged some lunch for you. Don't be in a rush to go, because I'm sure you're familiar with this compound. Asante sana. Members of the public, thank you very much. We still have another nominee, the nominee for the position of the county secretary, Agnes Kawila Mulewa, but we have to take a break, a 30 minutes break. Let's resume 15 minutes past 4, so that we proceed with the vetting of the nominee for the county secretary. Thank you very much, and the meeting is adjourned until today at 4:15 p.m. Thank you, members.